amount of strength that he needs is really impressive. Okay, in this video we're going to be reviewing the strength conditioning methods of Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G. So there's some mixed research around altitude training, whether it increases red blood cells or increases VO2 max. You know, there's conflicting studies, and the most effective way in using altitude training is to live high and train low. So you live at high altitude and basically camp at high altitude, but you do most of your training at sea level. Most of this training that Golovkin does is at high altitude, so this will limit the amount of intensity that you can produce. And the intensity is what drives physiological adaptations, whether that's doing the red zone runs, whether it's doing 30-second max out sprints, doing 12 seconds on, 48 off, doing repeated sprints. We're always looking to produce the highest speed or highest power output possible, because that's what's going to increase the physiological adaptations. Kneeling dumbbell shoulder press is a simple exercise that you can use with limited equipment and just look to try and overload that shoulder and overhead strength. And then if you're looking to actually try and improve like strength endurance of the shoulders with intensity, there's a few different ways. You've got Lewin raises, where we're looking to try and improve that overhead range, going from a lateral raise, going all the way up overhead and then coming back down. This is a real burner for the shoulders. You can perform 10 to 12 reps on this. We've got the shoulder burner, going from a lateral raise to the front raise and then going overhead. 10 to 12 reps on this and you should feel the burn. So using the Sarga Fitness BFR cuffs, alternate presses overhead, and going through the protocol, 30 reps, 15 reps, 15 reps, and finishing off with a max out effort. Doing this on relatively lower loads, but with the BFR cuffs, create more fatiguing demands and will improve like kind of strength endurance as well. Shoulder endurance exercises here. We've got some rolls, we've got some reverse flies, we've got some overhead pressing. I think it's on about 1 or 2 kilo dumbbells here. I don't know what this guy's doing. It just looks like it's in the nightclub there. For the purpose of this video, I've shortened this down, but it's around about 5 or 7 minutes he does this for. I get a lot of questions about this, about shoulder, how to improve shoulder endurance. Obviously, throwing thousands of punches, being in this guard a lot. You know, first kind of muscle to kind of start being fatigued is the shoulders. There's a few different things that I'd say around that. Is not to just go and start doing hundreds, if not thousands of reps, improving mobility, improving posterior shoulder strength. Reason why this is fatiguing the anterior shoulder is probably because it's quite dominant. So we're starting off with some core work. It's supposed to target rotation because it's done in a sit-up position and done quite close to the chest with relatively light weight. It's not really isolating the obliques as well as what I'd like to see. Dominantly going to be targeting the abs and targeting that trunk flexion, but it's good in a way because it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And when you're actually in the boxing ring, you're not going to be isolating the obliques. So there's going to be some like abdominal recruitment as well going on at the same time as you're going rotating. There's exercises that we do, such as like pull off press, doing cable rotations to isolate the obliques, but there's exercises that include all the core, emphasis going on the obliques as well. But what I would say is to try and increase the intensity of this and not be so predominant in that trunk flexion. So doing stuff like kettlebell drags, these Russian twists, we're doing it with a kettlebell, a heavy kettlebell, rotating all the way over, releasing, picking back up, and the pickup of the kettlebell will actually increase the obliques as you're dragging it. If he's really looking to isolate the forearms and grip strength, you'd want to do it a little bit lighter so it's more controlled. So you can see in his posture, he's actually turning a lot of his body into it. He's having to really dig down, he's trying to turn his shoulders in, especially if he starts going heavier as well, to try and turn that over. And as well, it's very concentric base, whereas like a lot of strength comes from the eccentric. So as soon as he turns that over there and he gets to the midpoint, he kind of loses that control. So he doesn't get the eccentric portion. So there's a few different exercises that you can do, just like lighter dumbbell turnovers. So getting on a table, an old school adjustable dumbbell, so you can bias the weight on one side, and just doing dumbbell turnovers and going for around about 6 to 8 repetitions on each side and building up them foundations for that movement. Then you can increase the intensity by doing eccentrics either way. It's probably why he's got such a strong chin, never been down in his career. Yeah, but these are his neck training, and get a lot of questions about neck bridges. So this one that he's doing here, where he's just rocking from side to side in neck bridge, the amount of strength that he needs is really impressive. Say for an athlete to do this, probably not. High compression forces going through the neck and going through the spine. His posture isn't great, especially like going from side to side there, increasing that demand laterally. I wouldn't advise to do this. A lot of our neck work is done banded isometrics and being able to control and stay in that neutral position, but then challenging the demands either laterally, prone, or supine. But also starting with high volume, so going for like 20 to 40 second holds to start off with. Different exercises in each strength session. We'll do a core circuit once or twice a week, so make sure that we're hitting the core 4 times in a week. We would do anywhere between 120 and 150 reps in total. Equates 6 to 10 reps on each exercise. Obviously each side if you're doing stuff that's unilateral. Yeah, it all depends on the phase of camp that you're in as well. As we get closer towards fight, we'll do more kind of high intensity work where we're doing high effort isometrics, 100% isometrics. We'll be doing like rotational throws, so then the volume comes down quite a lot. 3,000 sit-ups a day is very excessive. Okay, so we're